Good evening and welcome. We are thrilled to have you with us tonight. Tonight, we bring you the most pressing stories from around the world, stories that impact us all, no matter where we live. From the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where countless lives are affected daily, to the political maneuvering in Washington that could change the course of history, we'll delve into the events shaping our times. These stories are not just headlines. They are the narratives that define our global community. Our journey takes us through the complexities of international relations, where diplomacy and dialogue are crucial. We'll explore the delicate balance of power and the efforts to maintain peace and cooperation among nations. The urgent calls for climate action are louder than ever. From the melting glaciers to the rising sea levels, the evidence of climate change is undeniable. We'll look at the activists on the front lines and the policies being proposed to combat this global threat. And let's not forget the ever-evolving landscape of technology and culture. From groundbreaking innovations at tech conferences to the vibrant cultural festivals that celebrate our diversity, these stories highlight the progress and creativity that drive our world forward. Join us as we unpack these stories and more, striving to provide clarity and context in an increasingly interconnected world. Our goal is to help you understand the complexities and nuances of the news so you can form your own informed opinions. The headlines today paint a picture of both challenge and resilience. In the face of natural disasters and crises, communities come together to rebuild and support one another. The human spirit, as always, finds ways to shine even amidst adversity. We'll bring you stories of people helping each other, delivering humanitarian aid, and making a difference in their communities. We'll explore these stories of hope and inspiration, reminding us of the power of perseverance and the enduring human capacity for compassion. These are the stories that uplift us and remind us of the good in the world. Our commitment tonight, as always, is to deliver the news with accuracy and integrity. We understand the responsibility that comes with reporting the news, and we take it seriously. We'll hear diverse voices and perspectives, fostering understanding and encouraging informed dialogue. By bringing different viewpoints to the table, we hope to create a more inclusive and empathetic world. Thank you for trusting us to be your guide through the complexities of today's world. Let's begin this journey together with open minds and a commitment to seeking the truth. Let's begin. The situation in Gaza remains dire, with the human toll of the conflict reaching staggering proportions. The streets are filled with the echoes of despair, and the air is thick with the smoke of destruction. Families are torn apart, and the cries of the injured and the mourning are a constant reminder of the ongoing tragedy. The latest reports confirm over 42,175 fatalities, a number that continues to rise as the conflict drags on. Each number represents a life lost, a family shattered, and a community in mourning. The grim testament to the devastating impact of the ongoing violence is visible everywhere. The majority of these casualties are civilians, trapped in a conflict zone with limited access to essential supplies. The destruction of homes, schools, and hospitals has left many without shelter, education, or medical care. Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to deliver aid, but the scale of the crisis presents immense logistical challenges. The need for food, water, medical supplies, and shelter is critical, with millions displaced and struggling to survive. Aid workers face numerous obstacles, from blocked roads to security threats, making it difficult to reach those in desperate need. Despite these challenges, they continue to persevere, driven by the hope of alleviating some of the suffering. The international community continues to call for a ceasefire, recognizing the urgent need to alleviate the suffering of innocent civilians. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but the path to a lasting peace remains fraught with difficulties. Negotiations for a lasting peace remain fragile, with deep-seated tensions and mistrust hindering progress. The path to a resolution is complex, requiring dialogue, compromise, and a shared commitment to peace. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a swift end to the violence and a future where such suffering becomes a relic of the past. The resilience of the people of Gaza is a testament to the human spirit, but they cannot endure this alone. The international community must come together to support these efforts, providing not only immediate aid, but also long-term solutions to ensure a sustainable peace. The hope for a brighter future lies in the hands of those who are willing to work towards it, and the world must not turn a blind eye to the plight of Gaza. As negotiations continue, the focus must remain on the human cost of the conflict and the urgent need to bring relief to those suffering. The path to peace is never easy, but it is a journey that must be undertaken with determination and compassion. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a swift end to the violence and a future where such suffering becomes a relic of the past. The resilience of the people of Gaza is a testament to the human spirit, but they cannot endure this alone. The international community must come together to support these efforts, providing not only immediate aid but also long-term solutions to ensure a sustainable peace. The hope for a brighter future lies in the hands of those who are willing to work towards it, and the world must not turn a blind eye to the plight of Gaza. As negotiations continue, the focus must remain on the human cost of the conflict and the urgent need to bring relief to those suffering. The path to peace is never easy, but it is a journey that must be undertaken with determination and compassion. In Washington, the new administration continues to grapple with a multitude of challenges on the domestic front. The political landscape remains polarized, with ongoing investigations and partisan battles shaping the national discourse. Key cabinet appointments are under scrutiny, with debates over qualifications and potential conflicts of interest dominating headlines. The administration's legislative agenda faces an uphill battle in a divided Congress. Healthcare reform, infrastructure spending, and climate change initiatives remain top priorities, but finding common ground with political opponents proves a formidable task. The coming months will be crucial in determining the administration's ability to enact its agenda and deliver on its promises to the American people. Economic concerns also loom large, with inflation, supply chain disruptions, and the rising cost of living weighing heavily on the minds of many Americans. The administration's economic policies are subject to intense scrutiny, as policymakers seek to strike a balance between stimulating growth and addressing income inequality. On the global stage, international relations are characterized by a complex interplay of cooperation and competition. Diplomatic efforts are underway to address pressing global challenges, from climate change and nuclear proliferation to cybersecurity and pandemics. Multilateral organizations like the United Nations play a critical role in fostering dialogue and seeking common ground. However, tensions persist between major powers, with geopolitical rivalries and ideological differences straining relationships. Trade disputes, territorial conflicts, and accusations of human rights abuses contribute to an atmosphere of mistrust and uncertainty. The international community faces the daunting task of navigating these complex dynamics, seeking to uphold international law and promote peace and stability. The rise of nationalism and populism in various parts of the world adds further complexity to the international order. The rules-based system that has governed international relations for decades is being challenged, as some nations prioritize their own narrow interests over collective action. Section 5. The Climate Crisis, a Race Against Time. The urgency of the climate crisis continues to escalate, with scientists warning of increasingly dire consequences if swift action is not taken. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are becoming more frequent and intense. These events are not just isolated incidents, they are part of a larger pattern of climate disruption that is affecting every corner of the globe. Rising sea levels are causing coastal erosion, threatening homes and livelihoods. Ecosystems that have existed for millennia are being disrupted, leading to the loss of biodiversity and the collapse of natural habitats. These changes are not just environmental issues, they have profound social and economic impacts affecting food security, health, and the stability of communities. International efforts to address climate change are gaining momentum, with global leaders recognizing the need for collective action. Climate summits and conferences are becoming more frequent, serving as platforms for countries to pledge their commitment to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and to share strategies for mitigation and adaptation. Countries around the world are signing climate agreements, committing to ambitious targets for reducing emissions. Renewable energy projects such as solar and wind farms are being developed at an unprecedented rate, signaling a shift towards cleaner, more sustainable sources of energy. The transition to renewable energy is not just about reducing emissions, it is also about creating a more resilient and sustainable energy system. Solar panels and wind turbines are becoming common sights, representing a tangible shift towards a greener future. The recent COP28 climate summit in Dubai resulted in a historic agreement to transition away from fossil fuels. This agreement marks a significant step forward in global climate action, setting the stage for a future where renewable energy is the norm rather than the exception. The agreement was met with widespread acclaim, with world leaders shaking hands and committing to a shared vision of a sustainable future. However, the real challenge lies in translating these commitments into concrete actions that can be implemented on the ground. Translating these commitments into concrete action remains a significant challenge. It requires not only political will but also substantial investments and policy changes. Policymakers must work together to create frameworks that support sustainable development and hold industries accountable for their emissions. Financial analysts and government officials are increasingly focusing on climate investments, recognizing that the transition to a low-carbon economy presents both opportunities and challenges. Investments in green technology and infrastructure are essential for driving this transition. The transition to a low-carbon economy presents both opportunities and challenges. It offers the potential for new jobs, technological innovation, and economic growth. Green Technology Expos showcase the latest advancements while workers install solar panels, symbolizing the shift towards a more sustainable future. Engineers and tech innovators are at the forefront of this transition, developing new technologies that can help reduce emissions and increase energy efficiency. Their work is crucial for creating a sustainable future. Sustainable urban development and future city planning are also key components of this transition. Cities around the world are rethinking their infrastructure and planning for a future that is less reliant on fossil fuels and more focused on sustainability. Community planning meetings and investments in green infrastructure are essential for ensuring that the transition to a low-carbon economy is just and equitable. It is important to consider the needs of all communities, particularly those that are most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. The choices made today will have profound implications for generations to come. Ensuring a sustainable future is not just about protecting the environment, it is about creating a world where children can play in nature and families can thrive. The urgency of the climate crisis underscores the need for urgent and decisive action. Protesters around the world are calling for change, and political leaders are beginning to respond. The time to act is now, and the choices we make today will shape the future for generations to come. As we navigate through these unpredictable times, it's essential to remain adaptable. The world is in constant flux, and our ability to chart a course through uncertainty will define our resilience. By staying informed and prepared, we can face the unknown with confidence and determination. Society's norms are continually evolving, reshaping our understanding of what is acceptable and expected. Reflecting on these changes allows us to grow and adapt, ensuring that we remain in tune with the world around us. Embracing new perspectives can lead to a more inclusive and progressive future. The future is not a distant horizon, but a canvas we are painting every day. Our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow. By fostering innovation, nurturing creativity, and committing to sustainable practices, we can build a future that is bright, equitable, and promising for all. Life is a rich tapestry woven with threads of triumph and tragedy. Each moment, whether joyous or sorrowful, contributes to the complexity and beauty of our shared human experience. By acknowledging both the highs and the lows, we gain a deeper appreciation for the resilience and strength that define us.